Why did the frog cross the road? Find out the answer to that question and more on today's Take Action Echo Citizen Science Challenge. Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Echo Citizen Science Challenge. I'm Kaylee, and I am so excited to be talking to you about one of my personal favorite groups of animals, amphibians. Amphibians are incredible and diverse animals. They start their lives in the water and then transition, at least in most cases, to a life on land as adults. Amphibians are broken up into three groups: frogs, salamanders, and caecilians. Here in Vermont, we have 9 species of frog, 2 species of toad, and 10 species of salamander. Let's find out what makes these incredible amphibians so unique. Let's get a little wet. So we're down here by the water to talk about features that make amphibians unique. There are so many cool ones that we could talk about, but today I'm just going to focus on eggs. Amphibian eggs are unlike bird and reptile eggs. Bird eggs have a hard shell and reptiles have a leathery shell. But do you know what kind of egg amphibians have? Frog and salamander eggs are gelatinous. They have a membrane that's translucent or see-through that covers the embryo and keeps it safe. But with a gelatinous membrane, those eggs need to stay wet, which means that water, like the water all around me, is really important for keeping those embryos moist while they develop before they hatch. So back to our question, why did the frog cross the road? The answer is to get to the breeding pool. Not all frogs and salamanders live near water year-round. Some of them, like wood frogs and spotted salamanders, spend most of their lives in the woodlands, some of them even underground. So they need to migrate to bodies of water where they can mate and lay their eggs. And among those mating migrants, some of them will only lay their eggs in vernal pools, shallow seasonal bodies of water that are only full for part of the year but are incredibly important to the amphibian life cycle. Now, if that journey weren't enough, migrating from the woodlands to the vernal pools, there's other challenges at play in this journey, and among them are temperature, moisture, and predators. Amphibians are ectotherms. That means that they can't regulate their own body temperature. It changes with the world around them, and they can't sweat or shiver. So temperature is important. Plus, moisture is important for their bodies to function properly. So if a frog or salamander were to try to migrate in the middle of a hot, sunny day, they would dry out and overheat. Not good for survival. Plus, on those sunny days, they are much more visible to predators, which means that it would be a lot easier for them to get picked off. For all of those reasons, amphibians make their migration to the vernal pools at night, rainy nights in the springtime, where it's warm enough to function, but not too warm, and they're safer from predators. Plus, with the rain, there's moisture, so they don't dry out on that long journey. One challenge that faces amphibians today is cars. Cars crossing across habitats just like this one can be an issue for species like wood frogs and spotted salamanders that are trying to get from the woodlands to their breeding pools on the other side. Just in one night, hundreds of amphibians can be run over, having severe impacts on the population. When frogs and salamanders get run over crossing the road, this can be a major problem because they don't get to breed. And when they don't get to breed, they don't get to pass their DNA on to the next generation. This can have a huge negative impact on populations, both on population size and on population health. So what can you do to help frogs and salamanders crossing the road? There are some great options. First, keep an eye out for frogs and salamanders crossing the road as you're driving. Avoid roads that are known to be crossing sites. And if you do have to cross them, be especially careful. Second, you can go out and help amphibians yourself. Just make sure you bring a buddy and are safe by wearing reflective gear like this and bringing a flashlight. And to be safe for the amphibians, make sure there's no lotion or hand sanitizer on your hands that could get absorbed into their skin. Once you've got all of that, you can head out onto the roads, like this one here behind me, and see if you can find amphibians like frogs, salamanders, and toads trying to cross the road. If you find any, pick them up gently and move them to the other side of the road in the direction that they were going. And if you can, take a photo for documentation. Third, you can be a citizen scientist. Collecting data is extremely important for scientists to understand who's moving, when they're moving, and how many of each species is moving. This can give us information about populations over time and how they're changing, as well as help take action in places where extra work might be done to save amphibians. One great example of that is in Monkton, where recently underground tunnels were built to help salamanders cross the roads and get to their vernal pools safely. There are some great opportunities for people just like you and me to get involved and be citizen scientists. One great citizen science website to check out is the Vermont Reptile and Amphibian Atlas. There's a lot of great science and documentation of Vermont's reptiles and amphibians there that you can check out. Another great resource is the North Branch Nature Center. They have a lot of how-to training guides and videos that are great for beginners if you're doing your first citizen science project. Plus, they have a map of amphibian crossing sites throughout the state. Check this out, and just look at all these red dots. Those are all sites that no one has collected data from this year. Sites where no one has checked to see which species are crossing the road. Sites that you can visit and help fill that data gap. So check it out, go out, report your sightings to the Vermont Reptile and Amphibian Atlas or the North Branch Nature Center. After you've shared your data on citizen science websites, we want to hear from you too. We want to know who's hopping and crawling across your roads. So let us know on Facebook, YouTube, or even by email. Send us a photo if you want. We would love to see it. We can't wait to find out what great citizen science work you're doing. And we hope that you like and subscribe so you can continue to follow us on our citizen science adventures. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on the Take Action Echo Citizen Science Challenge.